Slafkovsky returns to action and has a great game, though the Montreal Canadiens fall short in a 5-1 loss to the Devils. Me and Jesse are here to break everything down for you. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside my co-host, Jesse Poirier. And right before we get into the video, 82% of you guys who are watching our daily content are not subscribed, and we are so close to 2,000 subscribers. We asked you guys in the last video to hit 2,000 by the end of the week, and we're only, 25 subs away now. You guys have been doing amazing. We want to hit 2,000 tonight, just after this video goes up, and we want to hit 3,000 before Christmas, and you guys can help us out with that. Alright, Jesse, let's get into this game. I mean, expectations were high coming in. Montreal wearing the reverse retros for the first time this season. And, Slafkovsky, after the 2-game suspension, he comes back into the lineup, and he had a great game. But ultimately, Montreal just felt like they got a bit outplayed tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Credit to New Jersey coming in on a big win streak into this. So 9 games coming in, now making it 10. So they're showing to be a different team so far this year. But a really quick game. I thought we played really good in the first, but that's about all we won in this game so far. Great positioning, great forecheck from New Jersey, and a couple of their skilled players really showed out tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there were some positives and a lot of negatives in this game for Montreal, but this really feels like one of those games, especially for a young team as you go along in the season, a young team that's been playing well above expectations. Now, that applies to both teams tonight, but more so Montreal. When you face a team like New Jersey, I think New Jersey played a lot like how we want the Habs to play. Extremely fast, jumping on turnovers, punishing every mistake, and they really pressured Montreal tonight, forced us into a lot of turnovers that ended up leading to goals. One from Guhle, which was very uncharacteristic because he also had a great game. Savard had some bad turnovers. Jack-I had a couple with some penalties. But Jesse, I think this might be a positive thing. Would you agree with the assessment that, when you're going through a tough season, especially with a bunch of young guys, you almost need a loss like this to kickstart you to learn, a lot about how this game went and apply that to your game moving forward?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And we have to remember that we are ourselves coming into this game on a 3-game winning streak. So we've been playing some great hockey. Sometimes we're going to get humbled just because we're a young team and everything like that. So a couple mistakes here and there. But this game wasn't as far as the scoreboard indicated, right? Because we were there in the third period, 3-1, we're getting that power play. And if we're converting on that, it's a completely different game. And as we know, watching this game, the New Jersey Devils, they were very aggressive on their penalty kill. Now, we didn't get too many penalties in this game. We couldn't really buy a whistle, but when we did have our chance, like I mentioned, New Jersey was right up on us. So many deflected passes, so many blocked shots. So, credit to them for kind of getting in the way. I think the way to kind of counteract a team that's being really aggressive with you on the penalty kill is you just got to do those quick strikes. You got to get set up. You got to take your quick opportunities because they're coming at you quick. If we could have converted on that, that might have been the difference. But unfortunately, I just didn't have the luck of the draw tonight.
Yeah, our power play, I thought it was clicking after the last few games. I was a little disappointed with how it started tonight, especially on our first power play. Man, like the first power play of the game, I should say, not the first line of the power play. Well, a bit of both, because on our first power play of the night, we ran the 5 forwards again with Dadonov out there instead of Jonathan Drouin, because him and Yoel Armia had missed tonight's games, with each with upper body injuries, I believe. And yeah, man, I agree with you completely. Like, New Jersey was out there tipping passes, really pressuring the puck hard on a penalty kill, which is not something you see super often in the NHL, but these guys have fresh legs, they're young, they're ready to go every single minute of the game. It felt like they had that extra kick in their step that Montreal didn't, and it forced a lot of turnovers, even at the line, leading to some odd man rushes on their PK, and our power play just didn't get it done tonight. Straight up, we didn't get it done. Our penalty kill, we also allowed a goal in the penalty kill after a couple bad turnovers. We weren't able to clear the puck ever. I know Jake Allen let in 4 goals. I know the final score is 5-1. That last one from John Marino was an empty netter. Allen let in 4, but man, you feel bad for him. After every goal, he just sat there, and you can tell, but just by his body language, he said, "What am I supposed to do?" And I was wondering the same thing, man. Like, it felt like the team in front of him really let him down tonight. And I wanted to say it's not good enough, but I'm not going to say that because like we've been saying, you need a game like this. This game can be viewed as a positive. These guys are now going to go into the locker room and they're going to say, well, we sucked. How do we fix this? And Coach Marty is going to be on them, and I think they're going to feel bad for their goalie too, Jake Allen. I think there were some guys who played well, some guys who didn't, and they're going to kick it into the gear. But let's get into some positives. Evgeny Dadonov gets his first goal as a Montreal Canadien. It was a bit of a lucky bounce. Sean Monahan tries to feed it across, or tries to shoot, I think, hits the New Jersey defender right to Dadonov in the empty net. Do you think this empty net, sort of an empty net goal, is going to spur him, just to be more productive, just seeing that puck finally in the back of the net as a Montreal Canadien?
I think it will, because it's amazing what just scoring one goal just to kind of get you back into the swing of things can do. Because after that, I was so surprised seeing him skate with such speed through the neutral zone, carrying the puck. But I mean, this isn't really like a coincidence at all. Evgeny Dadonov has been putting in the work over the last couple games. He has been trending in the right direction. And guess what the secret to his success has been? It's been going to the front of the net, plain and simple, just getting there in those dirty areas. He's showing that skill, right? It makes sense when we look at players like Mike Hoffman, like Evgeny Dadonov. We can see why we sign these players. Like, they are players with skill, and we're starting to see glimpses now of the vision that we've had all along.
Yeah, I thought his play tonight was a lot better. I think, I will say, even though a lot of people have been, crapping on him over the first number of games with Montreal, his play tonight seemed pretty similar to what he's been doing before, but it felt like he was more confident. I don't know what it is. It just felt like he wanted to get to the net a little more tonight, and it worked out well for him. And to sort of tangentially related to something you just said, he's made his money from going to the front of the net. We had a return of our boy tonight, Slafzilla. He came in tonight, and I don't know if you saw this, Jesse, which I'm sure you did because we both watched the game, but when he came on later in the game after that maybe shouldn't have been a penalty shot when Josh Anderson went in. You should have. Yeah, I thought so too. But when he went in, and we got a power play for that, Slafkovsky came on the fly. We didn't do a full line change. He came on with the first power play with Slafkovsky, Suzuki, and Caulfield. And where did he go? He went right to the front of the net. He didn't get any chances right in front of the net, but soon after he came on the ice, he got 2 one-time feeds right from the spot where he scored a couple of his goals already this season. Do you think this is something we could see more of? Do you think tonight was the start of Slafkovsky playing maybe on the first power play or having more of a net front presence?
I was so happy to see him on the power play tonight. Absolutely. And I think he's really deserved it. What I observed in this game is him making some really great plays in the defensive zone, getting in the way, but then making really good passes, because he's a really underrated passer. And boy, does this guy ever put some mustard on it when he's sending you a pass. You better be ready. Two hands on the stick for sure. And then, of course, we know him having a great shot as well. I thought he brought a lot of fire to this game. And he was, like you mentioned, one of our better players on the power play. So I'm really happy to see that, because I want to see more of him there.
Yeah, the score sheet says 4 shots on goal, but he whiffed a couple wide, especially late in the game with an empty net, or maybe it was on the power play. Either way, he was all over the net tonight. Even though he didn't get a ton of time on ice with Jake Evans and Michael Pezzetta, that fourth line didn't seem to get a lot of time this evening. But he was there on special teams, and he was noticeable, and he looked like you said, one of the better players on the ice tonight. So really exciting to see as a Habs fan. If you're going to take anything positive away from tonight, I would say it's that plus Dadonov scoring. As for other positives, I think Kirby Dach had a pretty good game there tonight. I feel like I just said that in a bit of a Newfie accent. I don't know what it is, Jesse. You've put that name in a Newfie accent in my brain. I apologize to anyone listening. But no, I thought he had a good game again tonight. Even if the first line didn't really click tonight, it felt like there was some weird chemistry issues. Suzuki dropped passes to no one. Caulfield was doing well getting into the offensive zone, but Dach was still doing what he does, getting the puck deep, using his big body to win board battles. Were you seeing that too, or what were your thoughts on the first line overall tonight?
Yeah, it was one of the big differences in this game tonight was just that our first line wasn't rolling, and kind of going into this game, again, on some positives, Suzuki fifth in the league in goals scored, Caulfield at number 12 in the league in goals scored. So, I mean, we have been rolling so far this year, just weren't really rolling tonight. But I mean, on a side note, how amazing would it be, Josh, if we ended off the year with 2 players in the top 10 for goals scored, possibly even top 5, dare I say, for goals scored in the league?
Oh, that would be Something, I mean, I've definitely never witnessed as a Habs fan. I don't even know if that's ever happened. When was the last time we might have even had two players in the top 10 in goal scoring? Montreal does not have a huge history of, bona fide goal scorers. Sure, Lafleur scored a lot. Obviously, Maurice, the Rocket, Richard had a ton of goals, but in recent years, I mean, we've had some 40 goal scorers, but nothing super crazy in the 90s. So that would be amazing to see if they keep up at their pace. And I mean, even tonight, Caulfield had some chances, especially late with the net empty, man. Like, if he's 2 inches over with where he's placing that puck, like short side snipes next to the goalie's helmet, and he's like an inch off, man, he's going to have so many goals by the end of the season. I'm excited to see how it keeps going. But you're very right when you say that Montreal's first line wasn't there, and that was the big difference in tonight's game and say the last 3 wins that we've had. We've spoken about it, and the media has spoken about how Montreal has a first line, and the depth scoring really needs to improve if you want to consistently win. The first line's been there for the last week or so. They have been all over the place, like well over a point per game for all of them on the first line this season. But in games like tonight, when they're not quite rolling, you're going to have off nights. Not every night is going to be the best night for them. You need some support from your lower tier guys, and we didn't see a ton of play from the fourth line, even though Slafkovsky, I thought, played well on special teams. I mean, our Anderson, Gallagher, Dvorak line, that one was okay. Gallagher had some okay moments, but of course he had that brutal turnover that led to a goal in the third period as well. Anderson, I thought, played with a lot of heart tonight. I thought his effort was off the charts. Dvorak, solid, a couple good goal-scoring chances, man, but that line was just kind of like, they are what they are. They're not a huge goal-scoring threat. They might have a burst here and there. And then our other line with, what was it, Dadonov, Monahan, and I'm not even sure at this point. I just watching the game, you almost don't know because these guys are just coming on the ice. They're not really doing a whole lot, and they're going off. And it's been a little frustrating. What do you think we need to do to these, the bottom 6 or even just the middle 6? We've spoken about moving players up. Do you think it's finally time after this game like tonight where the first line's not rolling that we just put Slafkovsky up there and we say, screw it, he's coming up in the lineup. We need to shake something up right now.
Well, I don't think it's time to hit the panic button yet. We've been playing some good hockey so far, but that being said, regardless of win or a loss tonight, like, as you know, Josh, as I've said many times, many of our viewers already know, is, I definitely feel like Slafkovsky, just to get the best out of him, really needs to be playing at least on that second line. I think that Sean Monahan's been a complete revelation this year. Who would have expected him to be playing as good as he has? Just the fact of just being so good on the faceoff dot adds so much to this team. And as we know, it's like Slafkovsky, when he has the puck, when we're a puck possession team, that's when he really shines. That's when he can really use his big body to just create so much with the puck. As dare I might say, the Jeremiah Yager. I won't say the late. He's still living. He's still playing hockey. So, but yeah, no, that's it. So I do definitely absolutely want him to go up. I'd like for Dvorak, like you said, more that defensive. Just I feel like he's more of a third line center. So I'd really like to see Monahan. With Slafkovsky, on that second line for sure. And it's going to come though, right? We're seeing him on the power play. We've been asking for that. So we just got to be patient. Marty's just going to check our wish list off one thing at a time.
Yeah, I mean, he is improving every night, and you're right, maybe I'm overreacting a bit and hitting the panic button in my head, because, like, at the end of the day, this is not a team that's designed to win the Stanley Cup, at least not this season, and while I'm frustrated with how we're playing, you're very right in that maybe I shouldn't be as frustrated as I am. We're going to figure things out. I think some minor shakeups need to come, but I'm sure Coach Marty knows better than I. So, I mean, other than that, what else do I really want to mention about tonight? I wanted to mention another theme that I'm not very happy about tonight, and it's Montreal's ability to have comeback shifts after having something bad happen to them. In the past, I've been saying that, Montreal has been excellent at coming back after getting scored on, scoring a goal, and really pushing hard right after. But tonight, it felt like we strayed away from that. I don't know what it was tonight. I don't know if it was the reverse retro jerseys, which, by the way, I was a little disappointed in when I saw him on the ice. We'll get your opinion on that after, but I don't know what it was tonight, but it felt like the energy from the boys wasn't quite there. I don't know. Am I the only one seeing that? Did it just feel to you as well that Montreal just wasn't really able to bring themselves together and have these hard energy shifts after something happened?
Yeah, well, we had a great first period, but then starting the second just seemed like the puck was kind of bouncing off our sticks. It was just weird, right? We were doing such a good job, and where we really play the best is, and I'm sure that Marty St. Louis stresses this to the team is puck possession, right? But if we're not really connecting these passes, we're having a hard time breaking out, which we have been very successful in doing so far early on this year. Of course, we're not really getting into the flow of the game as we should, and that really prevented us from kind of playing the speed game as we normally expect. Coming through the neutral zone, it's a lot of speed, generating opportunities from there.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, it's just we didn't quite have it tonight. It's one of those nights. We're gonna learn from it. We're gonna take a lot of lessons. Coach Marty's gonna be on the boys. I have nothing but confidence in the staff and the players to do something about this and to come out strong for the next game. Final thing I want to talk about, Jesse. I sort of alluded to it just then. The reverse retros. What were your first opinions, and maybe your opinions, whether they did or didn't change throughout the night on these jerseys? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Or you're somewhere in between?
It's funny that you asked that, Josh. I would say I'm probably somewhere in between. Like I started off, I liked them right away because I think like the powder blue is pretty dope, but then I found like maybe the darker blue maybe wasn't like the best choice. But I don't know. I'm not a fashion expert or anything like that. But call me old fashioned, but they were all right. Definitely just when you're so used to seeing the team in the classic red, some things is always kind of a little bit of a shock at first. But I mean, they're all right. They might grow on me as the season goes by. But yeah, no, overall, I'd say they're all right.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought they were all right. I love the Expos colorway. If they were going to do it, I thought they could have gone maybe a different direction, but Montreal clearly doesn't want to change the crest on the front of the jersey. Some people thought maybe a handwritten Montreal right across the front. I don't know. I think the front of them is good, but where I got caught off guard tonight was when I was looking at the back, like when there's a camera behind the net and I see Jake Allen. I don't know if it's just me, but the back of the jersey felt empty for some reason to me. It just felt like there was something missing, and I could not figure out what. I think it might legitimately just be the color red. Like even if there was a bit of red maybe on the trim of the numbers, it would have been better. But when I was looking at the back of the jersey, it felt like I was looking at like, I don't know, like a teal fridge from like the. I was just like I didn't know. I wasn't really sure what I was looking at. So I love the front of the jerseys. I think the colorway is great. I'm excited to see what they do next year, but I think I'm with you. I land somewhere in between. Well, Jesse, anything you got to say other than that about the game? I mean, we had some good and some bad from the boys, some turnovers, some positives, some negatives, and a lot of lessons learned.
Yeah, a lot of lessons learned. I think it's just all part of the learning curve tonight, and we got to remember that the season's all about development. We're doing great, just got to keep it going.
That's right. All right, well, that'll do it for this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. If you like the video, like the video down below. Hit the like button. We are doing so well with your guys' support. The like button helps us in the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. Refer us to any friends, family, anyone you know who might enjoy the content that we're putting out every single day. I've been your host, Josh Gosse, for my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.